the class, but today class is about, like, I got a call this morning, early in the morning. So I'm related. Hi, Melissa. I'm going to relate to that. One of our community person is going through a difficult time with having certain levels of health difficulties, um, into a space of hospitalizing and stuff like that with the therapies. Now, the message I got it from, I'm fear of the future. Now, take this part very well. I'm fear of the future means that, let's say that they see the health as a success that we have to have on top of it. But what I can tell you about the health is, all the challenges that I had with the health. Um, Hi, Rebecca, is my teacher. But at that very time, I surrender myself, because my home was not the known at that moment. My home was in the space of a lot of unknown people, a lot of unknown situation, because they have to cut, they have to open, they were taking decisions, and I'm saying yes to it. Because my home at that time was unknown. And even now to this stage, I live my life, my real home is unknown. Because if it is known, that is come from from the ego, because you love the familiarity of the known, and therefore you control the situation so much, and there is no growth in it. And a lot of people tell me that they don't like change, but their life is okay, but they have never done anything different. Now, um, I studied to become a lawyer, but then I became a chef, then I became a yoga teacher, and I am reinventing myself for my next realization. And but all these events, certain events I fail, and that failing was the teaching, because I humbly try not to create success out of it or try to be on top of it. But the failings were the parts of the teaching. So I would ask you today for you to just look into your life and don't take it very personally. See where it is leading into. And if there is a difficulty, why is that difficulty is occurring? And now I was very good at music, but doesn't mean that I want to go and play on a concert, but I was good enough so that music create me a flow of moving into other directions of my creativity, of working with the house, creating a harmony, creating these amazing level of plants and these visuals. So it is leading into something, but don't take from the world out of your perception and try to create, I want to be successful of what I'm studying. I want to be very successful of what I'm doing. Success is following you, but don't follow it, because at that very moment it goes into the polarity of the mind, and it sustains the ego. And therefore the criticism or the failing, you take it very hardly, very harsh into yourself. So take on this note, whatever the life is at for you, and very gently take a deep breath in and finding a space that is going to be comfortable for you. Finding a place that you're allowing the breath to move into the body, really deep into the body, really deep into the belly, so that the restrictions, that the tentacles of the mind that is holding the body as a trap can be released. And throughout the class, try to stay in the body. Even it is asking for analytical answer, try to stay with the body, try to stay with the feeling, without any judgment, without any criticism, so that the fear of the future will slowly start moving away, and you're creating something much more larger than that space that you're caught up in. I will move the camera towards the Darren. Now very gently take a deep breath in, shoulders roll back, opening up your chest a few times. Roll the shoulders so that you can really shake up what you were waking up into from last night, yesterday conversation of just to shake out that doesn't serve the purpose of this very moment. Now very gently take that deep breath in and shrug the shoulders up, very gently tilt the head back and massage the back of the skull very gently, because there's C1, C2, C3 spine, which we hold the tension, we hold the things tightly in there. Now very gently chin to the chest, back of the neck open. Now take that deep breath in and very gently bring that arms onto the pranam position. Very gently take that space of the seating in this very present moment. Shoulders relax, chest open, and very gently allow that transformation to occur through your breath, occur through your practice, occur through your experience, and allow that space to deepen and strengthen your distorted mental events. They must dissipate, and allow that space of the heart to expand a bit more. And very gently coming into the space of chanting a very gently a single Om, to come into that same space of the space of the universe, and bringing into the alignment of that, not just the sound of the head. So very gently take that deep breath in and chanting the Om with me. Now very gently twisting the spine to the left and very gently allow those to go together with the breath, with the movement, with the transformation, where there is a profound shift will come into that space as that you are evolving, not involving anymore. Breathing in very gently, coming back into the center. Keep that elongation of the spine, the seating, and very gently changing the leg formation. And very gently take another deep breath in and drop your hips and the knees a little bit more. Take that deep breath in, allow the spine to elongate, heart to transform into that space. Very gently releasing from the tentacles of the mind, twisting the spine to the right side, very gently. As your thoughts and emotions change from now, from that negativeness, not so much into the positiveness, but somewhere that it doesn't go into the polarity. If your mind change, allow that splendor to come from that space of the heart, the beauty, the clarity, and that so much of that compassion is replaced with the agitation of the fear of the world, fear of the future, fear of the health, fear of the finances, fear of the security. Now very gently take that deep breath in, come back into the center. Once you have created that space for you, it's easy to look at things. It's easy for not to get involved in that space, because the content of your mind is shifting. The way you perceive the shift, instead of seeing things through your ordinary distorted filter of habits, beliefs, and that negative emotion, you see things more accurately and clearly, that there is no fear. It's just a space of challenge because you have not realized it. Now take that deep breath in, shoulders relax and very gently chest open. Now very gently coming into the front of the mat. Very gently you can come into a space of a cat, transform into the knees. Very gently now, very gently stretch that left leg into the back. Very gently opening up that left calf muscle. Very gently take that deep breath in and left arm reaching into the front, up to the ceiling. Now observe more of your perception shift and more of your thoughts and emotion shifts. Left arm reaching into the back, touch the floor. Now very gently left knee onto the floor, right leg stretch into the back, very gently opening up that right arm into the front. Very gently rotating the wrist, opening onto the side, up to the ceiling. Right arm reaching into the back and very gently dropping the knee. Very gently now, give it just good rotation to the hips, wider rotation. Now, early morning a practice like this, your perception and your content of the mind that allows you to come into that space of realization, or we can call it improvement. Now, prior to commitment to this practice, you would have been in a different stage. Now to the other side. Now very gently, knees wide apart, palms facing up, and very gently stretch the spine into the back. Drop the bum onto the heels a little bit more. Now, why would have that fear came? Because you're perceiving things negatively through the filter of your own fear, filter of your own failures. And then the content of the mind that has experienced past negative things in the family, in the tribe, and others, all these are bombarding you. As the content of your mind has become now very negative. And therefore, every opportunity that you perceive your world is more negative. Now we have come into that more understanding of the true nature. That is, I know nothing, because I takes the space of the ego and it wants to know everything. And the more of all this troubling experience you are having, it's still dominating your life, and you're beginning to come into the practice, you will start noticing your old habits. And when you notice, you don't have to change it. They dissipate. All habits, negative emotions dissolve because they cannot exist independently of our attention. They arise from the misperception of their importance. So now you see accurately, they all fade away and dissipate. And then you will say, this can't be true. And you again invite that negativity. Now palms facing down, very gently push the hips into the front. Very gently opening up that space of the groin. So there is a shift also happening in the body. And very gently drop the belly onto the floor. Soften the hips, breathing in into a gentle up face. Now breathe out towards a down face. Now when there is a shift in your mental environment, there's a shift in the body. Now bending one knee at a time, very gently releasing that tension. Now very gently take that deep breath in and left leg up into the back. Higher, higher, higher without tilting the hip. Left knee onto the chest, breathe out, come forward. Breathing in, stretch back. Left knee onto the left elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Left knee onto the right elbow, breathe out, come forward. Breathing in, stretch back. Left foot into the front. Now very gently, drop that back knee onto the floor. Relax, holding onto the front knee. And very gently coming into the space of Garudasana, right on the top. Now take that deep breath in and very gently come into the space of the thumb is stroking the third eye. And now nothing is affecting you. There is improvement in your mental and emotional experience. Your mind has become more healthy, means it's natural. It doesn't have a color. It doesn't have a shift in perception. It just sees things as it is without giving any meaning into it. So if you slowly continue the practice, this is complete enlightenment comes very close to you. Now take that deep breath in, but you cannot find enlightenment to your identity because identity itself is the ego. So Channa can't find enlightenment. Channa has to let go of that identity, which is also trying wanting. Now very gently take that deep breath in, spread the wings wider and touch the floor. Out breath. Allow the body to feel the free from your body, from that mind, without separation. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Push that hip into the front. Left arm reaching into the back and opening up that groin. Touch the floor. Now right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Right arm reaching, clench and unclench. Release anything on that wrist, because this is the hand that you're dominant on the right side. You work and you also create tension. Right reaching into the back, touch the floor. Push the hips into the front, into a plank. Now we are coming into a lower plank. If it is too hard, you can drop the body, elbows tucked in onto the floor. Breathing in into an up face, shoulders relax and chest open. Breathe out towards a down face. Bending one knee at a time, release in the tension, working with your body. Now very gently, right leg up into the back. Rotation to the right foot, right knee onto the right chest, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back, right knee to the right elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back, right knee to the left elbow, breathe out. This twist is very important. Breathing in, stretch back, right foot into the front. Now drop the back knee onto the floor, holding onto the front knee, shoulders relax and chest. Now, with this part of the study, we are also going to work on the entrapment. You have come to this space because it is time for you for a shift in your personal energy. This class is there for you to encourage you to take a responsibility for your life and choose new ways of observing things that can create the change. The reality is that for you to make these changes, you need to, or you want, or you need, or desire, you need a system, a daily discipline, a daily practice, a motivation. Because if you are blaming the outside, which is happening through the news, through the media, and this is not good, because you're living in the outside world then. Now very gently take that deep breath in, left arm on the top, coming onto the Garudasana. Very gently come into that space of the Chiddakasha. Very gently take a moment to see that part of your blaming outside influences for your life, or you are powerless, or it is the government, or it is your abusive background, or it might be the interest rates, it might be the bank fault, it might be the financial fault, it might be the media. Many levels of things. Now take a moment and just see where you are at. Very gently see what your community is and try to be around that light-minded people. And you're letting too many things in your environment to control your life, and you come into that space that you're liberated, not controlled. Spread the wings wider and touch the floor. Open those arms a bit more wider as they are liberated, that they are ready to fly. Touch the floor and feel that feeling of the ground. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling, and allow that twist to be encouraged, breathing to be encouraged. Keep breathing, be in the practice of the body, clench and unclench. Right reaching into the back and very gently touch the floor. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling, clench and unclench. Left reaching into the back and touch the floor. Very gently coming into a plank, stronger plank. Now very gently drop the knees. Stretch the spine into the back. Palms facing up. Very gently shoulders are relaxed. Shoulder blades are relaxed. Spread the scapula, palms facing up. So ask yourself where you are at. Are you being built up by people or whatever it is inspiring you? If not, it's time to take charge and start making the change in your environment. First step to do could be cutting out all that negative media from your daily life. Other things can be little things like maybe your waking up patterns, maybe with your diet, whatever is that you're addicted to, and replace those things with something fresh. Like you're replacing the thoughts. The diet of the mind and the diet of the body is very important. So for you, it might be adding more water, adding more fresh things. And to the mind, it might be experiencing the ground, experiencing and doing the classes outside, being part of that. Our palms facing down, crawling and bringing that chest into the front. Breathing in, drop the belly, soften, bring the feet together, elbows onto the floor, breathing in into a gentle cobra, shoulders relax and chest open. Now come into that space of that you are so much in tune with your life. Nothing can affect you unless you choose to let it. Remember, your thoughts creates your mental reality. So if you give them to create that part and you're struggling with that, that is something that you're doing for yourself. And eventually you will believe in it. So coming to that space that you are allowed to create a space for new choices. Remember, your words and self-talking are very powerful. in alerting your physiology and the psychology. So be very careful what you're constantly saying about yourself. Now overlooking onto the left side, breathing in back to the center, overlooking onto the right side, breathing in back to the center, shoulders relax onto the knees, onto the down face. Now very gently get into your blocks and help for you because you're coming into the Trikonasana, the next posture. Now take that deep breath in and very gently bring that left leg up into the back, give a good rotation. Left knee to the left chest, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Left knee to the left elbow, breathe out. Bring outside the elbow so it strengthens more. Breath in, stretch back. Left knee onto the right elbow. Breathing in, stretch back. Left foot into the front. Now take that deep breath in. Bend the knee, look up. Now very gently forward onto the knee and straighten the knee. Back leg in angle. Now if you have blocks, prepare the blocks. Otherwise, you can do the Trikonasana, drop the back leg, also back knee, whatever is easy for you. If your body is tight, hamstrings are tight, take a time to breathe, take a time for the feet to be grounded. Now very gently when you're ready, so you might have to use the blocks as T and very gently, right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Now I want you to start alternatively breathing. Breathing in through observation of the breath coming through the right nostril into the third eye, leaving out through the left nostril. Breathing in through the left nostril, coming into the third eye, out through the right nostril. Very gently start opening the body. Very gently observe your understanding how your mental events are arising and disappearing as the breath coming in and going. Now you truly understand how your mental events operates and work and function. Now you know how your weather patterns work. Now you understand where your air pressure, where your temperature, where your clouds formation, and how certain conditions create certain weathers in your mind. Now in the same way as you are practicing today, you become more and more familiar with the patterns of your mind. You know what condition lead to what type of internal weathers. Right arm reaching into the back, touch the floor. Now Paravita Trikonasana, if it is hard, bend the knee, it's okay. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. If you want to straighten the knee, it's up to you where you are in the body, in the practice. Now very gently observe left breath coming through the nostril into the third eye, moving out through the right. Now as the breath comes and move, you are gradually reducing the disruptive effect on your reconnection with that space of the awareness. This makes a tremendous difference in your experience of the world. Now you learn how to come into that awareness. Mind and following mental events, the mental events gain more power over you. If you don't follow them and you're witnessing them without any judgment, and you're not pulling the body into it to feel that, it doesn't have any power. Left arm reaching into the back, touch the floor. Now very gently coming into a plank, strong on the pelvic floor, back of the head, create that space on the spine, left knee onto the floor, right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Breathe. Right reaching into the back, touch the floor. Now very gently, right leg up, Left arm stretch into the front. Keep that right hip lower as your left hip. Keep the elongation happening. Keep the head and neck aligned. Breathe. Now palm onto the floor. Drop the knee completely. Breathe out to a gentle cat. Bum flat a little bit more and curve. Breathing in. Drop the belly. Look up to the ceiling. Tongue roll up onto the upper palate. Now you can liberate yourself from the power of those events have over you. Breathe out to a gentle cat. Anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Breathing in, drop the belly, tongue roll up onto the upper palate. Energy gaze onto the third eye. Now, whether your mental events are positive or negative, they don't affect you as much as because you know how they appear, you know how they disappear. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Now, very gently push the hip side to side, side to side, side to side. Bit more side to side onto the floor. And now come back into the center. Now, very gently, left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Left arm under the armpit. Very gently drop that shoulder blade. Stretch that right arm into the front. Very gently coming into that space. Now you can see the practice. Now you can see the mental events. Now you can see that mental events cannot operate during your practice. So if you're in this practice and you take that regular break from your mental events, and everybody should take this regular break from these mental events. If you take regular breaks from your mental events, you can see that they are losing their territory and their control over you, which you're constantly telling me, this is harder, this is getting harder, this is fearful. That means they are creating territory and they are creating a control over you. That what the media does, that what everyone does, that what business does. They create territory in your mind, they control you so that you buy into what they are selling. But of course, when we are tired, they may regain control from time to time. But they are not in full control anymore because you are going to introduce your practice daily, regularly. So you're breaking from it also. So it's not when am I going to be clear out from my mind and fear. I can't say that because it's like cutting grass. If you don't cut, your lawn will grow. Breathing in very gently, coming back. Pull that arm, create the space. Now very gently rotate the hips wider. Bring that space of digestion, that if it has effect through your mental events, and give that regular break before the foot onto the other side. Now knees wide apart, very gently stretch the spine. Palms facing up. Now the more you have realized your mental events, it's like an illusion. It's like an illusion of a war, illusion of an army. You can release them like a virtual reality if you don't play with it, if you're paying less attention to it. So it's not about thinking about these mental events are illusion. So it's not replacing a thought itself, but you're paying a little bit more attention. It's not that mental events will go away, but they hardly can disrupt you from that stage anymore. So your mind is in the state of clarity, or I would say it's in its space of unknown. This way the enlightenment occurs. Eventually what you see and what you feel and what you are thrown into, it shifts more with the time. Now palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Breathing in into up face. Extend the body, elongate the body, feel that space. Breathe out towards the down face. Bending one knee at a time and create your down face without the force. Now very gently take that deep breath in and very gently right leg up into the back. Rotation to the right foot. Take that deep breath in, right breath out, right knee to the right chest. Breathing in, stretch back, right knee to the right elbow. Breathing in, stretch back, right knee to the left elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back, right foot into the front. Ground your feet, soften your feet. All those parts of the body is very important. Now use your blocks because you're coming into a Purna Trikonasana. Now Trikonasana is something that it's alignment of a posture. It has the same power of a pyramid, but you have to find a comfortable position so your left arm reaching up to the ceiling. And if you're tired of that left arm, keep it on the sacrum, just point the elbow only. Now very gently observe the breath coming through the left nostril into the third eye, out through the right. In through the right, into the third eye, out through the left. Now find a place that you are not distracted. Now you are observing, you feel more mentally and emotionally and spiritually aligning, harmonizing. So when I say mentally, emotionally, spiritually, this is the triangle, Trikonasana. There is now your mental events have softened. So you feel greater sense of well-being. Your happiness is more stable because your mental events can no longer undermine you, or no longer can disturb you, or no longer can rob you from your happiness, or no longer can dictate your experience. All these things are occurring naturally when you are mentally and emotionally balanced in that harmony. Left arm reaching onto the floor. Now Paravita Trikonasana you can practice. If you feel like bending the knee is easy for you, then it's okay. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Observe the breath coming through the right nostril. If you are bending the knee, your back leg has to be lengthened properly into the back. If you're straightening the knee or you want to do a bit of both, it's up to you. Now, all these things occurs naturally when you are mental and emotional experience, your mental events losing their control over you. So just observe the alternative breathing. Observe as you are allowing things to come and go, allowing things to occur in the mind. Mind residue always will throw things. Right, reaching into the back, touch. Lengthen, look up into a plank. Strong on the pelvic floor. Back of the head is lift up a little bit more. Breathe. Right knee onto the floor. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Clench and unclench. Left reaching into the back, touch the floor. Left leg up without tilting the hip. Tuck the tailbone, don't slouch the spine in the middle. Right reaching into the front, breathe into this space. So you are now not in an ordinary level of understanding of a mind with positive and negative thoughts that impact you. But you are in a stage of awakening. Mental events have hardly any impact, whether they are positive or negative. Your happiness is no longer depend on your mental events. Your happiness doesn't depend longer on the outside condition. It doesn't depend on your circumstances. Palm onto the floor. Drop the knee. Push the hips side to side. Now push to the left side and try to drop the bum away from the knees onto the other side. Now push the hips into the front. Open up a little bit more. Knees wide apart. Push the hips into the back, palms facing up. So now, instead of mind is your enemy, because that's how we come into this stage of that is not what I taught. You become familiar with the mental events. You become friends with it. You become a realized part to it. Now, instead of those negative thoughts even has become your enemies, now it's changing from being enemy to being harmless. Even they are friendly reminder that you are not in the practice. So it's not like getting because all the teachers are teaching, get rid of your negativity. No, you can't get rid of it. It's a polarity of the mind. It's a tool. It's the car go on the left and the right side of the road. You can't stop it. That's why the steering wheels are there. Your mind is just a steering wheel. So you come into this understanding that you are not lured by negative and positive. So suddenly you will feel that the body is very smooth. Your thoughts and emotions are now very gently, they are okay. They don't have that strong pull anymore. Because the mental events have less influence on you. Now they have lost their importance. Now you're part of the nature because there's no personality. You now, negative and positive comes if your personality, the ego is there. Palms facing down, crawling and coming to the flow. Bring that chest, bring the feet together. Now breathing in into a bit more Purna Bhujangasana. Hips on the floor. If you can extend, you extend. Now, when you began your practice, thoughts that arise, but now awakening, they are no longer harmful. Shoulders relaxed, just. Now you don't have to fight like a snake. Everything that moves, you don't have to bite it. because everything is no longer threatening you. So what is remaining in this now? A joyful state, like a helpful friend. Your practice has become a helpful friend. Your teacher has becoming as an internal experience of your life. Before, the negative thoughts and emotions and habits are working together and it was against you. Now relax the third eye onto the floor, elbows pointing out. This stage, very gently allow the body to relax. Allow the body to be grounded onto the space. Because this is now no projections, no perceptions feed and strengthen each other. Now the way you are, the cleanliness of your mind, this makes difficult for negative or harmful thoughts to arise, or because you are not feeding them. What feeds, it stays around. Now very gently bring that left knee onto the left side, higher as possible. Very gently. Now very gently left shoulder roll back and opening up, and very gently create that space of that environment. Now the space does not support any mental events of negative. Therefore, you are in that space of harmless. Your space of the mind is completely very much of clarity. Whatever the mental events now arise, it has only a very little influence over you. At this stage, your mind is neither help to you or no harm to you, because the mental environment is more and more pure. Now you have a relaxed and a fluid and a powerful space of mind. Now develop this realization a bit more further. Now very gently changing the side. Breathe, open the body and develop this stage a little bit more. Opening up, create that body, that space, that environment. That mental events once you had, once you were pulled in, now no longer have the strength to pull you in. But in ordinary mind, it will do it. But in this stage, your mind is set in its very space. Now, whatever remaining in your mentally will come up, but for most part, you can view it as a friendly reminder of that these are not me. Even your habits are in this stage, if they are still there, they are very positive and they are very friendly. But the negative habits doesn't have to be pushed down like you're getting rid of smoking or alcohol or whatever the addiction. It's no longer serve the purpose. Nothing is no longer narrow or prejudiced. If you still have thoughts and emotions, they are very friendly. With greater compassion, unconditional love, and a genuine appreciation, boundlessness is there, fulfillment is there, strength is there, self-confidence is there. So you don't have to add them. In a mental and emotional sense of a well-being. Now very gently change in the sides and relax. Very gently breathing in into an up face. Breathe out onto the down face. Very gently walk the feet into the front, bending one knee at a time, very gently, keep the palms flat, head down, neck down, head down. Now feet mat width apart. Now sitting deeper, if you need a block, you have to take a block to sit deeper. Otherwise sit on the cushions, palms onto the pranam position. Very gently allow that bowels to relax, because now you're releasing psychosomatically. You're coming into a very friendly space. Very friendly space. There is no gap between the mental events. It becomes wider and wider. This is why mental events lose their power and you become less and less significant. The more you expand your experience, the more present and apparent that expansion becomes into the body and to the mind. Very gently, I want you to sit in this space and observe. Now you are awake from the sleep of the mind. Now you're awake from the pollution to the unpolluted. Thoughts and emotions, mental events are not central. Now if the mental events happen, they are like shooting stars. They are just dying occasionally, darting across the sky of the mind screen. They pass by quickly as burning. They are no longer there. Mental clarity is there. The sky is clear. They no longer serve anything. Just observe this stage. This is enough. If you really get the lesson, you can enlighten today. Breathe. Keep that spine straight. Your mind is no longer complicated, so don't complicate with try to understand it. It has now become simple for you to deal with your mind. Your mind and your mental events listen and obey you. This is the very different from ego-dominated mind where we started with. They were fear of future. Now, once you gain the stability and the familiarity with your true nature of yourself, your mind rests. Your mind is unwavering like a mountain. When your mind engages, it engages immediately and perfectly to do what you want to do. It's like a tool in the shed you take, it does the job, it goes back to the tool shed. So you don't have to carry that hammer all the time to hit nails, because when there's no nails, you hit other things with that. That's how you're normally. Now your mental events obey you because you have a full observation over it. Everything that you direct your mind to do, it does very, very well. So after the class, please do something very well because it has come into this space. Now bum onto the floor. Very gently take that. Now stretch the legs into the front. Give a good shake. Now very gently bring that left knee onto the chest. Left foot onto the right side. Now take that deep breath in, right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Right arm past the knee, left arm reaching into the back and opening up that space. Keep that spine straight, flex that right foot a little bit more, very gently holding that space. And I want you to experience the state of the mind, whether you're doing a posture, whether you're observing the breath, whether you're elongating the body. You become more stable and you become more expansive. Now, if the mental events are there, they are harmless. They are like the wind blowing through the empty space. How forcefully the wind blows through the space, it cannot harm the space because it doesn't disturb the mental path that you have created. It just passed through. If your ego is sitting there, yes, it is going to get affected. But you have not built up any ego buildings in there. So the wind much even harder, it passed through. Your mind has become more spacious. Your mental events do rise, but they almost have no effect on you at all. Take a deep breath in, come back to the center. Shoulders relaxed. Prepare yourself onto the other side. Very gently create the space of the shoulders, create the space of the knee. Very gently taking the twist onto the other side. Everything arises in your mind is a friend that supports your connection into the practice. Now even the posture is reflect on your experience of awakening. There is a huge difference that it has created. There is a huge relief inside you. Now when the inside is so aligned, the outside obeys the inside. So you feel amazingly joy and happiness in your heart is outpouring. You gain confidence in this. This is another element of what you at this stage of awakening can expect. Breathing in very gently, coming back. Shoulders relax. Shake those legs. Knees lift up, feet met with apart. Pull out the buttocks. Bend the knees a little bit more. Arms raised onto the ground, rolling forward on the out breath. Shoulders relax and chest open. There is nothing to force anymore. Remember, there's already a victory over your mental events. Space has conquered. You have no enemies. You have no fears. There is nothing left outside. No one and nothing can defeat space. How could they defeat space? Space is victorious. You remain in that space of your mind. Not just when you come into the practice, but now you can take this for the whole day. Whether you're working, whether you're going to go somewhere, whether you're doing anything, You are now operating from this space. So this is a very profound class. So please get a recording of this and keep it to yourself, or share it with someone going through the same similarities, or work with some who wants to evolve, very gently coming out of that practice, coming into a sitting posture, shoulders relaxed, and bring those palms onto the namaskar position of that great gratitude that you have a space, even virtually, that you can listen to me and come into that space within you, which the outside is obeying you. Your home is the unknown. Your home is never the known. Very gently, arms raised onto the ground, cleansing the space of the aura of your environment, your state, your city, your home, that you will no longer allow that fear to pull you into that space, creating that positive aura throughout where it's needed. Very gently protecting your crown chakra, space of the third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, and navel, and Muladhara. Arms raised back to the crown, cleansing that space. And if someone needs this energy, you can now share this energy with them just by thinking about them. And create this space where you have difficulties. Create this space that you are coming into realizations. Touch the earth, respect for that earth, that we are taking temporary refuge with this body and the mind. Beloved teacher who comes in times when it's needed most, and very gently coming out of the physical practices, maintaining the mental practice throughout. Palms onto the namaskar position in gratitude. Namaste. Well, namaste to Liz and Liz's lovely cat, Maria and Sage, Stephen and Sureka. Namaste for Nora and Ryan. Namaste for Jacinta. Namaste for Mary. Namaste, Matt. Good to see you. Always lovely to see you. Namaste to Nicolina. Namaste to Melissa. Namaste to Rebecca, Daz, and your lovely soul, and your son, and the cat, and the dog, and everybody. And namaste for Naomi. So today's class is it's a class of Nirvana. It's very much of enlightenment. And so you can come into these stages. You don't have to go into a practice of ashram or a temple or to a monk to find these spaces, because they are in you. And when you have the tools, you can go into those deeper places in you. So today you went into those stages of samadhi and beyond that, even to the space of nirvana, if you use the specification properly and create that space to observe. So these are very powerful classes. And when you have doubts, when you have fears coming up, that means the residue of the mind just throwing out something because of the agitation of the body or the vulnerability of the body. And when you combine these two, it's like a bomb blast. It only will have a lot of casualties. So before it blasts, bring the practice again and practice again and again. And it is not, unless you are very familiar with the practice and practice becomes your nature of your life. And as far as it's on the second nature, you have to bring it all the time. Because at this stage, your nature is your analytical mind. And you see things and you come into perception of seeing the world through this. This lenses is not always right. This lenses has a lot of things that I said, that you bought from your tribe, you bought from your mother's sphere, father's sphere, in general, whatever you have experienced, but it not necessarily it's relevant for this very moment. So don't disturb the moment because it does not disturb you. So you have a choice. Those friendly reminder of anxiety, which I still have. 3 o'clock this morning, I was up. I just get out of the bed. I breathe and come into the space of it doesn't have no longer. If I stayed in the bed and cover the sheet and thinking about it, it becomes more. So I jump out and I just say, I am excited about life. I use a positive thought just to get out of it. And you guys also can do that. And the practice is amazing. So just, I teach because when I teach, I learn about myself more and more. And I love what I do. And it is not I am teaching to become the number one, but my ego would say, you should have a following. You should be better in life. You should be like this. And I go, don't want to be that, just want to do this. Whatever happens will happen. But this is how the mind talks, and it comes very gently even into the spirituality. It try to tempt it. So it will recreate myself where I can serve the humanity more, but doesn't. I don't have a following of such or this or that. But I do what I do, and I do with lots of love because I love teaching. And you could see it. I look forward. I have a shower, I dress up with clothes. It's like a honeymoon for me teaching. And I do it with love because I love to see my family. I love to see you all. And you're going to touch someone, will embrace the same feeling and joy and clarity and the liberation for that person without even knowing. So you guys are living gods. When you listen to things and taking the practice, things will change because everything has an energy. Even the most destructive place, it starts with the energy. And if you can change the energy, it changes the materials. World is going through this lots of negativity because we have created that fear wall and it is rising up and it is rising up. And you have to rise above. So enjoy life and do some great work. And my love to you and big hugs for you all. Thank you. Love you all. Bye.